Hey, it's Jared. I recently picked up a 13-inch iPad Pro M5 after spending the last year plus with the 11-inch iPad Pro M4. Now, the reason that I decided to go with a bigger iPad this time around is because I found myself not using the 11-inch. I made a big argument for going with smaller devices a little over a year ago because I found that I just didn't want to lug around my bigger devices with me because maybe I wouldn't need them. So carrying around a 16-inch MacBook Pro, carrying around a 13-inch iPad Pro often became a hurdle to me using them because I just didn't want to carry around the big devices. I found that with the 11-inch iPad Pro, though it is an amazing device and a lot of power for the size of the device, I found I just wasn't using it for actual work. I was using it more for media consumption, maybe responding to some emails, but when it came to wanting to use some of the new features that are in iPad OS 26, like being able to have multiple windows on the screen and multitask, get more done on an iPad, I found it to be a bit tricky to do that on the 11-inch iPad. So I went back to the old way of swiping between my screens. And sometimes there's some frustrations there because apps tend to need to refresh when they come back as your main app on the screen. So with that, I decided a 13-inch iPad Pro is what I'm going to need if I'm going to be using my iPad Pro to actually get work done and be more productive. And over the last month or so that I've had this iPad Pro M5, that is exactly what I've experienced. So in this video, I'm going to share some of the accessories that I've used that have been able to make this a device that I can use daily. You see, I do web design. I have an online marketing company, so I also do email marketing, social media, create content for not only my companies, but also for clients. And I need a device that has enough screen real estate for me to get work done. I'm also a professional photographer, and I like using Lightroom on the iPad. And so editing photos on the 11-inch screen is good because it's a smaller device, it's mobile, but the 13-inch display gives me much more screen real estate to work with. Now, I also did decide to go back to the glossy screen. Over the last year or so since the iPad Pro M4 was released, I've been using the nano texture screen. And while I absolutely love it because it cuts down on glare, I found that it's just a pain to clean because you have to use the Apple Magic Cloth or whatever it's called. And when you don't have that with you, it's pretty much impossible to clean, and you definitely have to be really careful when you clean that display. So I decided to go back to the tried and true glossy display. But make sure to hit that subscribe button because I have a complete video of my entire setup on the iPad Pro and how I use it when I decide to leave my laptop at home, making the M5 iPad Pro 13-inch my main device. So let's take a look at some of the accessories. First, as you can see with this device, I have some things attached to the back of it. I have the Magic keyboard case, which I think is the best keyboard that's available for the iPad Pro. There are a lot of aftermarket options that are out there, but Apple's Magic keyboard case is very sturdy, easy to use, and I found it just to be the best option. This case has been updated with a larger trackpad, massive trackpad, which is extremely useful, and all of the function keys up on top so that we can control the iPad. You'll notice that I've added some accessories to the back of the case, which are MagSafe accessories that I'll swap out, and I'll talk a little bit about those here in a second. I also have a way to secure the Apple Pencil to the top of the iPad, and of course I use a mouse, I have a charging brick, and a few other accessories that I use to get the most out of my iPad. Now, one of the main things that you need for your iPad in order to use it like a computer is more inputs and outputs. And there are a variety of different ways to get that. There are little dongles like this dongle from Hitachi here, which just plugs right into the side of the iPad into the USB-C port. And what this little device gives you is a headphone jack and two USB ports. One of them will support 100 watts of charging, and then the other one could go out to other devices such as an external monitor, a storage device, or any other USB-C type device that is supported by the iPad. I always keep this little adapter in my bag just in case I forget one of the other accessories. I always have this as a backup. What I do like about this dongle is that it's very small and it doesn't require any cables to be plugged in because everything is self-contained. And that means that all I need is this to have some adaptability to my iPad. If I forget everything else except the device that I'm trying to plug in, this is all I need in order to connect them. But one of the downfalls of this device is that it hangs off the side of your iPad, meaning that you now are going to have 2-3 cables hanging off the side of your iPad as well, putting maybe a little bit of extra strain on the USB-C port. So you want to be extra careful when using this. Make sure that you don't break it off or cause any damage to your iPad. Another option would be to go with a magnetic hub. This one I purchased to use with my iPhone, and it also works well with the iPad. So I can attach this one to the back of my iPhone like so, MagSafe compatible, and it has charging support, USB-A. On the bottom of it, it has a headphone jack. It has the USB-C port that then goes into your phone or your iPad. So I would plug this in like so, and then plug this into the bottom of the device. On this side of the device, we have another USB-C port. We have an SD and micro SD card slot. And so this little device has plenty of inputs and outputs. And one of the things that I love about it is that it's very small and compact. And what I like about this small hub is that it'll work on my iPhone, my iPad, and I can even use it on my Mac. Now, what I've added to the back of the iPad Pro is 2 magnets for MagSafe accessories. What I could do is take this Hitachi hub, which this hub is round, basically the same diameter as a MagSafe magnet, and it has a built-in cable. It has USB-C, USB-A, another USB-A. It has Ethernet, HDMI, and then it also has card slots for SD and micro SD. So this device here is everything that I need, and it also has a built-in cable. And when not in use, that cable can be tucked away easily so that I could stow this away in my laptop bag. Now, when I am ready to use this, I can attach it to the back of the iPad, MagSafe. I could then pull the cable out, just rotate this around a little bit, and plug it into the iPad. And so now this is ready to go. If I need to charge my iPad, if I'm using the keyboard case from Apple, of course, I could plug in to the USB-C port that's on the case to charge the iPad. That's not a port that allows for data transfer or connecting of any accessories, but it does allow for charging pass-through. So I can charge from there, leaving all of my USB ports available. But I can also plug in charging into the hub, and it would then charge the iPad through the port here. I tend to carry at least one other accessory with me, so I can move this Hitachi down here below if I wanted to, or I can keep it up top. I have a Samsung T7 drive that I've put in this MagSafe case here, and what's great about this case is that I can attach it to the bottom of the iPad here, and either using this cable or one of the other cables, probably would need one that's just slightly longer, such as this one, and plug it into the Hitachi hub. And now I can access all of this external media through the hub on my iPad. I also am often using the Plod Note when I'm in meetings, and I can take that and attach it to the MagSafe magnet right down there below. Or of course, I can move the Hitachi hub down below and attach this here. Having these MagSafe attachments on the back gives me a ton of flexibility. Even if I wanted to put my wallet on the back, which I don't know why I'd want to do that, but I could. My Peak Design Slim wallet, which is MagSafe compatible as well, fits right there on the back, making it easy for me to grab it and access cards and cash whenever I need. But of course, most often this is on the back of my iPhone. Now, one shortcoming of the keyboard case is that when your Apple Pencil is attached to it, one little bump in your Apple Pencil is gone forever. Now, of course, the Apple Pencil Pro has Find My enabled, but Find My is only going to work well if you can get back to where it was when you dropped that Apple Pencil. So I like having a little bit more support, and Spigen makes this attachment that goes right between your iPad and the keyboard case that's going to make it really easy for you to support that Apple Pencil. As you can see here, it's just a slim little piece that sits between your iPad and the keyboard. And what this does is provides just a little bit of protection. And there are also magnets inside of this to hold your Apple Pencil in place. So you simply slide that on just like so. From this side, I'll show you how it works. You just slide this right on and make sure it's snug. And then when you attach your iPad to the back of the MagSafe case, that is now locked in place. And there's a little cutout right here. I just slide my fingertip right in there to pop out the Apple Pencil. Comes out really easily. Now my Apple Pencil has some support, so I'm not worried about it popping off and disappearing on me, or me having to backtrack and go find it. Another accessory I always have with my iPad is my MX Anywhere 3S mouse. This mouse gives my iPad Pro a bit more of a computer feel. Of course, using the trackpad is great, but I still often like to use a mouse. Even when using my MacBook Pro, I have my keyboard in the middle, a mouse on the right, and a trackpad on the left. So what's great is if I'm editing photos or video, I can use the trackpad, I can use the mouse, both together, and then use the keyboard when necessary. I really like having both input devices available to me. And when the mouse isn't in use, I have a nice little case for it so I could store the mouse in my bag so that the mouse isn't bonking around getting scratched up or scratching up other things inside of my bag. Now, though it's a bit large, I use this charging brick. I'm not even going to attempt to say the name, but I'll link to it down in the description. This is a 140 watt charging brick that has more than enough wattage to charge my iPad, my MacBook Pro, or pretty much any device that I need. It's a little bit big, but it's still smaller than the charging brick that comes with the MacBook Pro. And it also has 2 USB-C outputs and 1 USB-A. And this 3-port wall charger goes with me everywhere. Now, when I don't need this full setup with the iPad and I'm more in a media consumption mood, I don't want to carry around everything with me, I will pop the iPad off of the Magic Keyboard and I will put it into this slim case from Pitaka. This slim case I had since the M4 iPad Pro 13-inch, and it works for the new M5 as well. I can use it with or without the Spigen pen protector here. This little magnetic flap on the case will reach over and attach, or I can take off the protector from Spigen just by sliding that out, placing my Apple Pencil right here, and of course, the magnetic clasp will cover and keep the Apple Pencil safe. What's great about this case is it's extremely slim and lightweight. It's easy to prop the iPad up so that I could view at different angles. So when I don't need the keyboard and all of the other accessories, this is the case that I often go to. It's got a cutout here for the camera, and it doesn't add much to the overall size of the iPad. You just got to be careful with a case like this because it doesn't really provide any sort of edge protection. So dropping your iPad with this case on is not going to protect it that much. This is just a slim folio case that makes it easy to keep the screen in the back protected while giving you some additional portability and functionality, like easily being able to set up your iPad at different viewing angles. So this is my current M5 iPad Pro 13-inch setup, and it has worked out really well. It's made the iPad more like a laptop for me and given it the functionality that I need so that I can get work done and be more productive. If that's a topic you're interested in, you're going to love the channel here, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up and check out the links in the description below to all of the accessories that I talked about in this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.